It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled.
This is one hot, sexy young man.
On 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Keatsman in the hot seat for an hour. Following Mundo in the Morning, where I heard a word mentioned today so many times, I just couldn't believe it. It was just over and over and over, and it was fantastic. Great listening again today on Mundo in the Morning. Always a tough act to follow. We're going to try our level best here. We have an opportunity for you to win concert tickets later, correct, Mark? We're doing that today?
That's right, 10:45.
10:45. See Alabama and Pat Green at Thunder Ridge Nature Arena near Branson on August 21st. You will need a keyword to text in. I will give you the keyword at 10:45. I'd give it to you now, but I don't know the keyword yet today. It's best not to tell the host until it's time to give out the keyword. Because if I slip with it, then the whole thing gets thrown off and I get in trouble around here and I'm not very good at my job. So we got to be better at that and make sure that I get that right today. We'll do the keyword coming up at 10:45. Also, a little bit later, Trump versus South Park. Has anybody been following this thing? I thought South Park was fairly conservative, but it looks to me like maybe I don't watch it a lot. I see clips. They must be an equal opportunity offender, and that's why they've been so funny and so relevant for 27 seasons. We will get into that. At 10:30 on the show today, America, it's time to toughen up or get left behind. This segment was a gift to me today by a college football coach who is lamenting the fact that his young players are not tough at all, and he spoke out. It's more than a football segment. It really has very little to do with football. I'm going to give you examples of you better toughen up in the golden age of Donald Trump or you're going to get run over and left behind. And then toward the end of the show, I heard Pete talking about his story today, but I think me and Mark need to spend a minute or two talking about Mundo getting robbed or burglarized or whatever it was. The difference between the two. That's just, I mean, seriously, who does that at a gym? That's a fellow member. If you belong to a gym, you have a membership at a business with everyone else that's there. That's about as low as it gets. We start today with a story that I think is really important, and I was hesitant to do, especially as the lead, but I've decided it's too good to not do. The reason I'm hesitant is there's a little-known thing about broadcasters that we will go out of our way to avoid the appearance of impropriety or bias. We will do anything we possibly can. I went to Kansas State University, and I've been accused by so many K-State fans of being tough on K-State because there have been times where I wanted to make sure nobody thought I was some kind of a K-State homer or whatever. That happens a lot. Now, it doesn't happen as much in politics. Pretty much everybody listening here is on the same team, so we really don't do a lot of that. But in this particular case, it's the city I reside in Kansas City, and so I'm a little hesitant. It was a big week. We did a couple days worth of stuff last week about the Mexican restaurant in Lenexa and KCK that got raided. And we had discontent and mayhem in Lenexa, which could lead to change because I'm going to give you the headline here, okay? The liberal chicks have taken over the city of Lenexa. That's just what's happened. While nobody in Lenexa was looking, we were clicking along. I moved in 1999, bought my first house there. I've loved living in Lenexa. Everything was run beautifully. And the last election cycle for mayor, I'm like, oh my God, this woman running is trouble. And she's rounded up some of her friends to get on the city council as well. And the lib chicks have taken over Lenexa. That's it. I'm giving you the headline. We knew this last week when a councilwoman named Chelsea Herring Williamson, who has not returned my call, I've asked her for comment on this story. I've asked her to give me a call back, and I'll invite her on the radio show or my podcast, where she said about the Mexican restaurant, she was enraged and disgusted. This is not okay. And I would like her to publicly come on and acknowledge that what Homeland Security did was apprehend indentured servants who are victims of an open border society and recognize and admit that she was wrong. And let the people of Lenexa know this is wrong. That there is not some assault going on in her community. I need her to admit she was wrong. Now, that's not today's story. The today's story is even more concerning about the city of Lenexa. And this comes on the heels of what we saw as a big national story the last few days, and that's Delia Ramirez, who's in Congress, the U.S. Congress, who is an anchor baby. Her mother was an illegal alien when she gave birth to young Ms. Ramirez some 30-some years ago or whatever in this country. Ramirez went to Mexico City and spouted off to some consortium she was speaking to, some think tank socialist group, that she is a Guatemalan before she's an American and always will be. And she's in the U.S. House of Representatives. This story's got people seething. She's basically admitting treason, that she's working in Congress as an American citizen for people of Guatemala before people of America. She's admitted that, period. She can never take that back. She said it out loud. I'm Guatemalan first, American second. So people are very upset with this. And now we have our own little mini case here in Kansas City, and it's happening in Lenexa. Lenexa City Council member Melanie Arroyo revealed Tuesday. This is so typical of a Democrat. She revealed Tuesday that she was recently asked to prove her citizenship to local police after an anonymous caller questioned her immigration status. Well, let's figure out how we got to this point. This woman wrote a guest column or was part of a feature in the Kansas City Star where she was bragging, basically, that she has been illegal in America at times before she'd had extended visas out of Guatemala and things like that. She became a legal citizen, apparently, in 2018, fully legal. I don't know how that's the case because it's my understanding she's an anchor baby, but she had to clear up a bunch of things she had done wrong, apparently. So some things were happening. The Lenexa police requested proof of her citizenship after the Kansas Bureau of Investigation passed along that she came to the U.S. legally but overstayed her visa when she was in high school. Despite that, she said in the op-ed that she was able to graduate from college, have her immigration status resolved, and get a job as a licensed therapist and counselor because Kansas allows undocumented students to pay in-state tuition rates in college. Okay, so now we're asking the question, was she born in America? Her mother was illegally here. No question her family was illegal immigrants. Where was she born? It's not clear. Now nobody knows. But this is a bigger problem because how did she become a Lenexa councilwoman when apparently nobody in Lenexa asked the question, is she a citizen? How do you get on the ballot? We're not talking about voting, voter fraud. How do you, now I would just assume that anybody on the ballot has passed every possible examination to get there, that this is a resident of Lenexa and a citizen of the United States in the state of Kansas. That seems a low bar when I go to vote for somebody. It's more than assumed. It should be 100% guaranteed. So ask yourself this question. How did we get to a place where Lenexa police and the KBI didn't know? And they're like, well, wait. So I went on the Lenexa City Council page and tried to figure out how you can apply to run for office. It costs $20. When you fill the form out online, you give them your name and your birth date, and it pops up what party you're in, what your registration is, and what your voter history is. If you knew my birthday, you can go right there right now and see my voter history. You can see my affiliation. You can see all these things publicly, but guess what you can't see on the Lenexa Council site? You can't see what any party these clowns are in. And when you go vote for Julie Sayers for mayor, it doesn't say Democrat. Yet the day after she won, she was in Atlanta with, who's the crazy lady in Georgia, Mark, that went after Trump? The one that lost the governor's race.
Yes. Now I can't think of her name.
No, John's got it. He's writing it down. Stacey Abrams. Thank you, John. The day after she won the Lenexa election, she's doing a photo op and a fundraiser with Stacey Abrams in Atlanta. Okay? So Lenexa got what they deserved. These ballots that don't say Democrat or Republican are unbelievable that we allow them to happen. I think I'd run in Lenexa on one issue. I'm going to put next to my name that I'm a Republican. Come beat me. The lib chicks have taken over our city. This woman, it came into question whether or not she was a citizen or not. She was simply asked by Lenexa police, do you have proof of citizenship? That's it. Okay? Her husband, the husband of the woman that's in Congress, has previously stated that her husband's illegal. We got all kinds of weird things going on. This is not a poor question to ask in this era. If the Kansas Bureau of Investigation and the city of Lenexa never, ever required or asked somebody running for city council, are you a citizen? Check this box. If that was never done, that's the only reason they would go and ask her. How do we have these systems in place? I can't fault her that much, although she made a big deal of it. She's playing victim. Oh, this is so horrible. They came and asked me if I'm an American citizen. This just in. While I'm driving home from Cumulus today, any of Lenexa's finest that want to stop me and ask me for proof of citizenship, I got it. And I'll happily show you, and I'll shake your hand and thank you for doing your damn job. You can ask me anytime. Do you see the pattern here? People that are proud Americans are more than happy to state they're a proud American and show citizenship. But when you're a whiny-ass liberal in the Lenexa City Council complaining to the Kansas City Star, they shook me down. They came, oh my God, the horror. I don't know that I'm ever going to get over this again. They asked me if I'm American or not. Oh my God, you people, get over yourselves. I'm pleased that she's an American citizen. Welcome. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad this was important to you. I'm going to assume that Lenexa and Kansas and America are more important than your previous country. I want that to be the case. It's the people that are here that are not becoming citizens or scamming their way to citizenship to try to help their home country, living off of America. We want you to come here and assimilate, become an American, get wealthy, get famous, be part of this unbelievable economic machine and an experiment in democracy. We welcome that. But don't come here to take it over and turn us into where you came from. We are not interested. And that is not a question too far. If the damn Kansas Bureau of Investigation and the city of Lenexa do not know if the councilwoman is a United States citizen, we got one hell of a problem. You can run for office and win without proof of citizenship. But then an anonymous caller calls in and says, we need to check her out. The city of Lenexa went out of their way. Oh, the mayor must have got all over the police on this one. You will make a statement that we do not ask for proof of citizenship in Lenexa. They went out of their way to let you know we never asked for proof of citizenship in Lenexa. No. We're going to be a nice little sanctuary community here in Lenexa. And the only reason they asked her is she was elected as a councilwoman. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask. Oh, but to run for council, you don't ask? To get a driver's license, you don't ask? The Kansas Bureau of Investigation didn't know she's a citizen? How can they not find out? Isn't there a database somewhere they could access? This is insane, folks. We've got the work to be done. We're seeing the headlines now, right? It's like a movie trailer. We're getting 2 minutes and 15 seconds of what it's going to be. We kind of know what the story is, but we don't know any of the depth of what we're dealing with. This is an utter mess. We have a woman in Congress in Washington, D.C. that's Guatemala first and America second and is on the record stating that. There was an anchor baby who everybody around her is illegal. Everybody except her. It's just remarkable what's going on. And we have a councilwoman in Lenexa that apparently has been a citizen for 6 years or so, less than that before she was elected, that never proved to anyone she's a citizen, nor did she have to become a councilwoman in the city of Lenexa. This is not for the people of Lenexa, but listen to me in Lenexa. This is everywhere you live. You can sit and listen to the radio all day. We can all love Trump and applaud him. We can be stuck in social media rooting this stuff on, or we can get off our asses and do some things, okay? Find out what the hell's going on in your town. Find out who your council people are. And if they're not declaring whether they're Republicans or Democrats, we got to change laws. We got to change them fast. It is absolutely unacceptable to have ballots where you don't say you're Republican or Democrat. I'm sorry, because we're learning people will move to go where the Republicans are in charge, correct? We're seeing that all over the country. They will move. And if Lenexa wants to be that way, maybe I'll move to Shawnee, because I heard their city council is 7 Republicans and nobody else. Maybe that's a better place to be. 913-408-7957, the number to call. We'll take your calls next. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. All right, welcome back to the show. We've touched a nerve today. We got a lot of folks on hold. We want to start here with Karen, who I've known for a while. She's on the city council in Olathe. Hi, Karen. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Kevin?
I'm well.
I'm no longer on city council. When I ran in 2017, because I had always run as a Republican, I put elephants on my yard signs because I'm not going to run away from that. But you have touched on a number of issues, and one of them is that issue of, do you have to be a citizen to vote? And that's something that the Republicans in Kansas embraced, but I believe Laura Kelly vetoed it. And it's an issue on the federal level. It's also tied in with what we are seeing happening with those Democrats in Texas, because the census counted people who were not citizens. That needs to be fixed by Congress. And then I wanted to say almost every local government will say, oh, but these are not partisan issues. Almost all of those races are nonpartisan. And our county commission is nonpartisan, and it was never intended to be that way.
It's a joke.
I was on the original.
It's a joke.
I'm sorry.
Nonpartisan's an absolute joke. It's a joke.
Absolutely.
Look, the reason I pointed out that anybody listening right now that knows my birthday can go to Lenexa's website and find out my voter registration and all the elections I've voted in. You can find that out. It's a low bar to say you're running for office, you're on the ballot. We're going to put how you're registered right next to your name. That's it.
Right. And Kevin, it's the responsibility of voters to get that information.
No.
The reason we have
No.
a government...
I understand that that's correct, that we should all do that, but that's not. That's too high of a bar for a voter. I'm sorry. We got too many dumb voters that want to vote every 4 years in November, and it's real simple. They may think, okay, I'm a Republican. I'm going to go there and vote for every R. I thank you for the call, Karen. We got a bunch of others. No, I don't believe that. No, absolutely not. Like, you don't go vote for somebody to know every issue either. No. It is a very, very small thing to put next to their name what their registration is, how they're officially registered. That's it. You can find mine. We ought to be able to do theirs. Here's Travis in Lenexa, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Jeff in KC. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, I won't waste your time. I just want to say thank you. I've got an ear-to-ear smile for you because I agree with you 100%. God bless. Thank you.
Well, you made my day. That's very kind of you. I can't thank you enough for that. Now we've got Travis in Lenexa. Hi, Travis. How are you today?
Yeah, Kevin. Here's another thing to think about is these cranks come into Lenexa that live here for 18 months, and then they find their name on the ballot, and then randomly there's a bunch of votes for them that make 100% no sense. They're implanted. They're carpetbaggers. They're just showing up because they're being enticed, brought in somehow, and they're running on city council, and they're getting elected with no credentials, no background in anything other than they get on the ballot. I will be running on city council at the next opportunity, and I will put a Republican right behind it. I'm not scared.
They won't let you. They will not let you put it on the ballot. They will not let you put it on there.
I understand, Kevin, but I'm going to let it be known. I will tell people. It'll be in the yard. It'll be on my signs. I'll do whatever to let it be known. I'm a conservative, and I'm not going to put up with it.
Well, maybe you ought to just, say your nickname is Republican, and as you're up on the ballot, that will be your first name in quotations, like it's your nickname, like Buster or something like that,
Well, but the voters in Lenexa need to pay attention to this stuff. Yesterday there was a primary that was going on, and a lot of them didn't vote. It was a low voter turnout. It appears the quote-unquote conservative that was on there didn't hardly get any votes, in my opinion.
Let me know when you're running, because I want to help you out and support you. 8.7% of the registered voters voted in Lenexa in the primary. 8.7%. Not a single person on the ballot was Republican or Democrat. They won't say. This is not a Lenexa issue, folks. This is in your community. We've got to get this on the ballot. This needs to be a huge issue in every state and municipality everywhere. Uncanceled continues on KCMO Talk Radio. So the Democrat governor of Massachusetts will win no IQ contests anytime soon. This rocket scientist had a news conference yesterday and got her little Trump derangement syndrome going. She got so excited saying Donald Trump and Texas are working on redistricting so hard that they have left her no choice in Massachusetts, but to do it as well. There's only one problem with that. There's nothing left to redistrict in Massachusetts. They have 0 Republicans in Congress. The entire state has not one Republican in Congress. And she's in front of a microphone saying she's going to do it. We're bringing the fight to you. We're going to do it here in Massachusetts. What are you going to redistrict? You've already done it. That's the whole point of the redistricting. It's been done everywhere that's blue. They're pretty much tapped out on those things, but you got to love it when they get to the microphone and say something like that. Coming up in just moments, America, toughen up or get left behind. First, let's check in with Stephen in KC. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Kevin, this is a good topic today. I was kind of thinking a lot about this from a 35,000 feet cloud view. I think it's good to sort of root out all this local corruption, because if you look at Politico and some of the blogs, they say that the Democrats have sort of given up on the House, and they don't think it's going to be a blue trickle or whatever, that they're going to go with this radical strategy of have radical locals in the inner city trying to do their fighting for them. So the centrists will then stand back and then maybe like Kamala Harris try and win. It's extremely dangerous for this country. I mean, they're going to basically sort of like radicalize and weaponize the inner cities into a Mad Max Thunderdome where they still have control. And then if they fall on their face, then the centrists will step in after Trump is gone.
I think you're going to like this, Stephen. I think you're going to. I'm going to implement a new rule on this show and this show only. This doesn't speak for anyone else at the station. We can no longer mention the name Kamala Harris unless we are mocking her. Okay? There will be no serious discussion of Kamala Harris winning anything. It's not going to happen. Here's what I'll tell you, Stephen. If Kamala Harris somehow gets back in this thing and wins, I will eat a full bowl of my dog's food.
I was just saying they're not Kamala, just a centrist Democrat. The funniest thing I heard is the new punishment for fantasy football. You know, the humiliation for being in last place is they're going to have to read or listen to Kamala's audiobook.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate the call as always, and I appreciate you listening. I think you probably heard that right here. Stephen, Mark and I were talking about that.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
I think the audiobook would be harder, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, especially if it's her voice.
Doesn't it strike you that she's going to have maybe a pro do the audiobook and not her?
Yeah.
Who would that be? Like Julia Roberts or something? Some big Hollywood star is going to do that? I'll tell you what, and I mean this is a call to all of us. Toughen up where you live because they're coming after you. These lib chicks are going to take over your town, your council. They're coming after you. And the reason I mentioned 8.7% turnout in a primary yesterday, the council is up in odd years in Lenexa, which is the way they like it. Nobody votes. It's a November 25 vote or whatever. The primary was yesterday for council members. Nobody votes. 8.7%. What percentage of the people that voted yesterday do you think were hardened leftist Democrats? 80% of them? Of course they were, because they're the ones that this is all they do and all they think about, and they don't go to work. They have nothing else to do but to radicalize and get ready for this stuff, and they're taking you over. They're really good at this. They thrive on low voter turnout elections. They thrive on placing people into communities that are typically red and going and doing nefarious things with school boards and city councils and taking it over. And I know we got a lot of people listening right now in much more conservative areas than Lenexa. Maybe I've got family like lives in Paola. Okay, we start talking about some of the places more a little on the outskirts of Kansas. It's red as can be, like 90% Trump. If you don't think they're coming for your town, think again. And I'll tell you how they do it. They're going to send the college-educated, liberal white chicks to run for council and run around and shake hands and bring cookies and do all this stuff door to door. And just vote for me. And they got nothing to do all day. And they wind up winning, and then they get in there, and, we're going to be a sanctuary city here in Paola. Oh, yes, we are. It's what they do. We got to toughen up, every single one of us. If you don't, you're going to get left behind in this America, not just from a voter standpoint or a party, but in Trump's golden age, you better toughen up. Why is Sydney Sweeney so popular? And why has she become such a big story? She's sexy in movies. She does a jeans commercial. The left melts down. They found out she was a registered Republican. We're now seeing videos of her with guns where she goes to the shooting range and does all this stuff and a whole bunch of things in the past with her dog. And now they're saying her dog is a Nazi. She has a Nazi pet. It's a German Shepherd. So, of course, it's a Nazi. This is what they do. But Sydney Sweeney is tough. She's not getting canceled. But we're seeing all kinds of things change. Howard Stern's run is over at SiriusXM. Stephen Colbert got let go. The long list of media entities on the left that would have failed had they not been funded by, my personal belief, I can't prove it, is that this USAID $50 billion that was canceled is what's changing media. I think it was funneled through to groups like Soros's group for aid in other countries, stolen, brought back here, paid to people like Jake Tapper without Jake Tapper even knowing it. The head of CNN, Jeff Zucker, Howard Stern, Stephen Colbert. There was no explaining how these shows existed when they could not possibly make a profit. It had to be your tax dollars, just like NPR and PBS, which we have defunded by $9 billion. Those people better toughen up in media and figure it out because everything's changing. There's no more slacking in America. We're cutting off the free money to people. We're finding ways to do this. And I'm going to play a clip here from a football coach that you may or may not know. Doesn't matter whether you like football or follow football or not. This is a symptom of a coach that I don't think would have said this a few years ago, but he said it today. Feels perfectly comfortable saying this. His name is Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rod's his nickname. He's the coach at West Virginia now, which has been a fine football program through the years. This guy's won a lot. He's not been like a Hall of Fame level great coach, but he's been a very good coach at a lot of places for a long time. And essentially, he's not going to say this here, but this clip is about his training camp, how weak his players are, and a coach that sounds like he wants to make football great again.
Just not.
Did they get an extra workout?
No, like you said, two running backs made
it. Myself and the coach?
No. I'm just curious what you meant by you only had two running backs make it through the workout.
Yeah, without tapping out. Well, no, they get breaks during practice. I'm not talking. Like if we had no trainers, no medical trainers, we probably have zero injuries because they had nobody to go to. We got 30 of them. So they're like, oh, where's the trainer at? And I got a great training staff. But no, I just say that. Like, what running backs finished the entire practice without tapping out somewhere? Or two. Now, I could play a game without running backs. I can run the quarterback or slide receiver. But I don't want to. I've always had really good running backs. I got good running backs here. I got a good group. But we finished with two. So, do you think I'm not going to talk to my recruiting staff this afternoon? We're running a business. But it helps to have some running backs.
We're running a business. We are running a business. What would you say, West Virginia probably have 8 running backs at practice? Sound about right? Usually a walk-on or 2 as well. And they all tapped out of practice except 2. Not tough enough. Can't get through camp. Oh, I got a cramp. Oh, I need water. Oh, I'm seeing my head. I don't know, throwing up in a trash can. You know what we need? We need more football players throwing up. And I'm not talking about punishing these guys in heat to where they get really sick and have heat stroke or get hurt. Okay? That's not it. But we're hearing this a lot from coaches that all of a sudden feel a little bit emboldened to go back more to the way that it was. Football and America are very similar. Football is the most uniquely American sport. It was baseball. Baseball is more global now than American football. It doesn't matter. We basically invented both of them. And they're unique. But football is the one that really, the way it's played, the way it's coached, the people that are in it, it espouses American exceptionalism at every turn. It's teamwork. It's us against the world. We're going to show them who's best. There's so many things about football that I love. I have a hard time articulating all of it. It is a fabulous sport. It's a tough sport. And not to be sexist, but unless we start women's football on a real scale, it's a men's sport. And it's a men's sport for the toughest men, not weaklings like yours truly with a microphone. Okay? I wouldn't last a day at camp. And I'd be over there tapping out with the trainer, saying, oh, my ankle hurts, or this, I don't know, my tailbone. Rich Rod's had enough. And the fact that he can sit there in front of his media and say, I got a bunch of wussies here, and if we didn't have all these trainers, what do you say? He's got 30 trainers? There's 30 people out there in some capacity doing something to support the players' non-coaching. Now, that could be something as simple as a water boy with a towel and Gatorade or a cold pack or something. But the point is, he's got a problem on his hands. They're 3 weeks from the start of the season, and his players are at camp, and it's hot, and they're like, oh, I'm injured. I got to go see the trainer for 10 minutes because they want out. I don't know what his recourse is. I don't know what you do as a coach when you have that many trainers around and your players are doing that. You just mark down who they are, which is my point. You better get tough or America's going to move on without you. We're getting tougher as a country. What we've seen in 6 months is amazing. I can't wait to see how much progress we make in 4 years. But we need more toughness. We need more exceptionalism. We need more people out there busting it, like really busting it, to get it right. Here's Tom in Cleveland, Missouri. Hello, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Speaking of toughness, we need voters to get tough, to maybe spend an extra 15 minutes of their day to get out and vote in every blinking election. Because in a small community, you mentioned Paola, I'm in Cleveland, decisions could be decided by just a few votes.
And
so get out and vote.
They frequently are, but it isn't.
America, vote.
But here's the problem with that.
I
always say that too, Tom, but listen to me for a second. Tell me if you think this is right. When I tell people to go get out the vote for city council and nobody on the ballot is Republican or Democrat, what's the bar? How do you expect everybody that goes to vote? If you get 100% turnout, you're going to get 65% of people have no clue who they're voting for, and now it's just random.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. It is the problem in these communities at local elections. Your school board should say, what party are you registered under? Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, whatever your affiliation is. If you're running anywhere on any ballot, it must say what your affiliation is. It just has to. And I would challenge anybody that wants to go to Cleveland, Missouri and run for council as an independent, because they don't want to be a Democrat, as an independent against the Republican, good luck, because the Republican's going to beat you, even as an independent. They've found a loophole in our system. They're exploiting this for their gain.
Yeah, I've never lost an election out here. Of course, the positions they don't pay a dime. It's all volunteer.
Right.
Fire district, city council. So you're volunteering for your community, and somebody has to do it, and good people have to do it. That's the other thing.
Watch out, Tom. They're coming to Cleveland once they get all of Johnson County, which they've pretty much done. I mean, if we were talking about like the Russia-Ukraine war, they've pretty much taken all the real estate in Johnson County. It's gone. They've got the county commission. They've got Overland Park. They've got all these towns now that weren't this way. They've got them all. And it was mostly white women that came, liberal white women that came in and did this. That's what's doing it. They did it in the name of abortion, first of all, but that's not what it's about. Now they're screaming, running around borders and all these other things. They don't want you to know who they are because all their really far left people know who they are. They're going to vote for them. They know who they are. They fool the rest of us and make you think that they're something that they're not. All right, time for our Minutes with Mark. Mark, have you heard this Trump versus South Park feud that's taking place?
I've heard about it, but I haven't looked into it much yet.
So this is season 27 of South Park. I don't know if I've ever watched a full episode, but boy, I've seen a lot of clips that are really funny. Like, these guys are brilliant, right?
Oh, yeah. When it first came out, I was really into it. That was kind of my high school days. I'm kind of dating myself here. But
sure.
You know what? I have not watched it lately, but I'm sure it's still funny.
Okay, so these two co-creators, just got paid $150 million each to continue on with Paramount Plus. And they've publicly just been livid that Paramount Plus was merging with this Skydance. And then they wound up making $300 million between the two of them to create 10 episodes a year for like the next 5 years or something like that. It's not much, but they bought the whole catalog. They'll be available on Paramount Plus. I thought it was a fairly conservative show, or at least features a lot of comedy about liberals and wokeism and things that nobody else features. That's fair, isn't it? They do things that others don't?
I think it's a mix, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're equal opportunity offenders.
Oh, yeah.
We love that in comedy. That's perfect. Their season premiere this year was called, I'm going to say it, the name of the episode was Trump's Micropenis. That's it. It involved a skit where Trump is running through the desert naked. And so they're on him. And apparently it was very funny. It got the highest ratings of any season debut since 1999.
That was about the last time I watched South Park.
There you go. So the Trump people came out and said, oh, they're not relevant. Nobody cares anymore. People used to watch that, but not anymore. Then this week, DHS posts a screenshot of Cartman and a couple of other characters in a car with ICE agents. And they're doing a skit about ICE and the fact that government's hiring ICE agents and paying them all this money. And they use that as recruiting video on social media to get people to. So they're like, oh, so
smart.
And so the creators are like, oh, so we are relevant. Like 2 weeks later, even Trump's government, one hand is not communicating with the other. South Park responded to them by saying the administration, quote, eat a bag of blank, which I won't say. I wouldn't fight with South Park. I don't think if I'm Trump. Just let it go. It's comedy, and it's pretty funny. Pete Mundo got his credit card and some cash taken at the gym yesterday. You know the lesson here, don't you?
I mean,
it's coming to you. It's coming to you. You know the lesson, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't go to the gym.
That's one lesson.
Don't go to the gym. Don't go to in all seriousness, that had to be a terrible feeling when he opened up his locker and looked in his wallet or whatever it was he described, and the card was gone and the cash was gone. Says he never carries cash, but he had some in there. I just love the fact that this dude went to Dollar Tree and tried to. How many items can you fit in one buggy at Dollar Tree? He's charging over $500 at Dollar Tree.
And they have pretty small. I've been to Dollar Tree semi-recently, and they have small carts. So he'd probably need 3 carts.
Like when I go to the grocery store, I purposely get the smaller buggy because I don't want to buy the big stuff. I don't want to go to the meat section and go, oh, I'm going to fill the freezer today.
Yeah, you don't want to be tempted.
Don't need to do that. Get the small one. Dollar Tree, there's no other option. It's just a tiny buggy. Mm-hmm. I think they do have things now for $2 or $3, but still, that's a lot of items.
Oh, yeah.
It got shut down. So we appreciate Pete for sharing that story publicly. Folks, just be careful with your stuff. They still haven't figured out how they got in that locker, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because Pete couldn't get in himself. Once the person got in, they closed it and changed the combination, obviously. Mm-hmm. Right? That's a weird deal right there. And ESPN is acquiring NFL Network and other assets from the NFL for a 10% equity stake in ESPN. If you like watching Red Zone, which I do, it's going to be an ESPN-owned property. I think it's still going to be a channel called Red Zone, but maybe it'll be called ESPN's Red Zone. I don't know what they'll do to rebrand. There will be 3 more games added to NFL Network for ESPN, and 4 of the games that were on ESPN previously will be moved to NFL Network. So NFL Network is now going to have 7 more NFL games. So this is the NFL becoming a partner with ESPN. I don't like it. I don't like leagues partnering. I guess in a way they've always been partners because rights fees are paid. But this really blurs the line, folks. If you're concerned about journalism or fairness or accuracy or whatever, when a media entity is partnered with a sports team, they're never going to be fair. They're always going to be over the top in favor of that team or that league. Always. That's just the way it's going to be. You think Trump should approve this?
I'm kind of up in the air on it. I think it's probably going to be approved, but I wouldn't like it.
I need to learn more. The FCC will have a say. It's Uncanceled. The Vince Show is coming up next.